Hello, I'm Frandere. I'm a guy that just really likes anime and I really want to talk about it. You know, I've been wanting to do something like this for I don't know how many years, but I just never worked up the courage to do it, I guess. One anime that I really like myself is Girls Band Cry. I really, really love that anime. It's one of the more recent ones that I really love. I mean, there's a lot of really good recent anime, but that's one of the ones that I just really, really loved. After the masterpiece that was, Bochi the Rock, after that ended, I just felt it's time to read the manga and wait for the next season. But I didn't expect like a few months later an announcement for another like girls band anime. Bochi, I'll talk about in another video. I really love it too. But but real quick, I want to talk about, I guess, music focused anime, an anime that put like a lot of effort into their music years ago with stuff like the Angel Beats soundtrack, the soundtrack for Fuka, and the K-On soundtrack. Like, I just really loved it. And anime itself, like anime openings and also like rhythm games, which is another thing. Like, because of that, my like the music that I like is very diverse. I like all kinds of music from like here and there some idol like cutesy music from like anime openings and stuff to like hardcore metal and stuff and rock. And I feel like I do owe that to anime and rhythm game. They just made my taste in music so like diverse. But there's always this debate of anime better or manga better or novel better. And I believe they all have their own strengths. Like when you read novels, you can, I guess, it leaves up more to the imagination. So people who really like that really enjoy that. Like you don't have to, like, it doesn't give you the art, it doesn't give you like the atmosphere. Like you read it and you imagine it. Well, in anime, the strengths of anime, I would say, are stuff like, of course, the actual art. Manga also has that, but and something that anime has is like the voice acting, the effects, and the music, the soundtrack. And when it's done right, like anime can really shine. And sometimes from if it's taken from another source material, sometimes it can be better. Sometimes it can be and cannot be better, it can be worse. But now Girls Band Cry, it was an original anime, so it didn't have anything. It didn't have any source material. It is the source material. Even when it was first announced, I was a bit surprised. I didn't think like it was going to be bad or something just because it was an original anime, because there were original anime like Licorice Recoil and Odd Taxi and Sora Yorimo Toibasho. Those, which I really recommend, those original anime are really, really, really good. And but there's many other examples too. But I especially had high hopes for Girls Band Cry itself because I really like music anime, and girls band anime like recently has been just really good. Another thing about Girls Band Cry is it's a 3D anime. So 3D or CGI has been, pretty controversial here and there. You get some really, really bad examples, and because of that, some people really, really hate it. I mean, some examples of some really bad CGI, I guess, is like Handshakers. They tried to do like some different stuff with like the camera angles and stuff, but it can get really like for some people it could get really motion sicknessy. And there was also this one isekai, I believe it was called Kamikatsu. And I mean, if you know, you know, it's the one that had the really, really bad. I might put a picture up of it. It had some really bad CGI monsters, but you know, but there are good 3D anime out there, like the stuff that Studio Orange has made. Studio Orange worked on Hoseki no Kuni and Beastars, which both look phenomenal. And you know, I would recommend watching them. Recently, Toei too has been trying their hand more and more on 3D anime, like the superhero movie, Dragon Ball superhero movie, which looked really good, and of course, Girls Band Cry. That's the anime that they worked on, which was also like what surprised me when when Girls Band Cry was announced. It was some another thing that surprised me that Toei was making. I was like, Toei is making a girls band anime, because Toei works on like One Piece and Dragon Ball, and I was like, I don't know, but you know, I guess they work on Precure too, so I guess it's not that weird. But uh, Girls Band Cry was supposed to be like a one-off thing, like a thing they were like, yeah, we want to work on this, and then all right, back to like One Piece, Dragon Ball, or Precure, or whatever other thing they might have. But they didn't expect the success that Girls Band Cry had. Of that towards the end of after I speak about Girls Band Cry, but how did it get to that point though? So was it pure luck that Toei released this girl band anime a year after the success of Bochi, which had many people waiting to work on it for years? Was it pure luck that they just released it, released Girls Band Cry? Because you know, like an anime of the quality that Girls Band Cry had, I don't think that doesn't take like a year. You can't cook that up like in a year. Like they have been doing this for a while now. So even while Bochi was airing, like this was being done. So either people at Toei caught wind of, like, they caught wind of these like passionate people that wanted to work on Bochi, and they were like, wow, they people really want like this anime. What if we work on like a girls band anime? You know, that's just me like speculating, you know, like I don't know what happened internally, if it but like I would say I'm pretty sure they were like Girls Band Cry and Bochi were being worked at the same time. And I don't know if it was pure coincidence, or it was just like Toei strategy where they were like, look at it. They just wanted to work on a girls band anime. Who knows? Who knows? But anyways, now that we got all of that out of the way, let's talk about Girls Band Cry, right? So from the get go, first episode, stunning, you know? Like it's just really fluid, nice to look at 3D. It just looked amazing because most of a lot of people, when they might have heard 3D, they might have been like, "Oh, I don't know, man." But you know, once it came out, it was like the characters were so expressive and everything was so, it just looked so nice. And then the soundtrack just sounded amazing. Like I even have it as my ringtone because it's just that good. I just really, really like it. And I'm sure a lot of people really liked it too. Like just that nice guitar in the background. It just sounds so nice. But for anyone who hasn't watched Girls Band Cry, you know, no spoilers. This is just like a quick little description. The story is about this girl named Nina. She dropped out of high school. She left the countryside to go to a college in Tokyo. There she meets Momo. a girl who she was in the band, she was in a band that Nina liked. Like Nina liked that her music, but for certain reasons Momo is she's not in that band anymore, and Nina she can't accept that. So she decides to form a band with Momo. That's like the simplest explanation I can give with like no spoilers. Now I'm going to like actually describe more of the episodes, more of the anime, so this might be like spoilery. As the anime progresses, you see more glimpses of Nina and Momo, their own struggles, combined with like the struggles of their new band stuff. And then you also see like new girls join, Subaru, Rupa, and Tomo. They all have, their own problems. And then, the band has its up and downs. Even through all of that, like all the girls, even through all the tears, all the arguing, like they all get through it together. They find solutions for it. But, you know, I just really like I just really like these girls, man. Like the characters, they're really great. You know, everyone is great. If you told me like this girl is my favorite, this girl is my favorite, like hell yeah, man. Like they're all awesome. My favorites would probably be maybe Subaru and Tomo. Uh, and Tomo, I say, would just be just a little bit higher just because I really like her design and I really like how she dresses. She dresses really cute. I just really like her. Now, the music, right? You know, I will say probably rock and metal are probably closer to my favorite genres, the ones that I listen to the most or the ones that I enjoy the most, I guess. Like I mentioned earlier, Angel Beats, Fuka, Bochi, incredible soundtracks, and just amazing rock music. And, Girls Band Cry just got added to that list. To I listen to that. My YouTube music my is like full of that. Um, I'm maybe in the future I might make a list of my favorite songs from the music anime that I've seen because I feel like nowadays, maybe in another video I'll also speak about like older anime and anime that used to be like really popular, but I feel like the modern generation or you guys, it if you haven't listened to like the Angel Beats soundtrack, like listen to it. Like I feel like I want to bring that to you guys because that's that's one of the reasons that I just really liked talking about anime. Like sometimes you can discover things that you might have not discovered if not through somebody else, because I guess nowadays maybe some people are less inclined to go back to older anime, right? So right, so like I said, maybe I'll make a favorite uh song list and a list of like old anime. But anyways, back to like speaking about Girls Band Cry to not get too off topic. I guess now's the time to talk about Toei not expecting the success of Girls Band Cry, because it feels like it seems like Toei just thought, here's a fun project, let's put it out and move back to One Piece and Dragon Ball, Precure, and or whatever other projects they might have. Girls Band Cry was intended to end how it ended. If you watched Girls Band Cry and saw how it ended, I just want to say, to me, maybe you feel the same way I felt. To me, it just felt like almost like a prequel to something that was to come. Like it didn't feel like an ending. It felt like the beginning because it was it was the girls forming the band, going through their troubles and then finding the solution and then finally getting ready to start the journey of being a band together, because it just ends like after they signed. they sign their first contract, they get their first gig, and then it just ends there. And it just felt like, oh, so Toei is gonna make a second season or whatever, but they actually had not even thought of that. They were just gonna end it there. And but the success was so much that they were like, they had to put out an announcement like, okay, yeah, we're working on it. We're gonna work on another season. And of course now there's the game, Girls Band Cry First Riff. They're working on that, and then also of course the voice actors that for each of the girls, like, or actually Togenaichi Togeari, the band has actually been touring for a long time now. And they've been releasing more music too. So soon, I guess, soon, hopefully soon, the second season still hasn't come as of this video. So hopefully soon it comes. But yeah, I think because of the success uh, of Bochi the Rock the year before, I think it really hyped up people to want something similar, or I guess to girls band anime. And then I believe also Ave Mujica released just a little bit after Girls Band Cry, or around when Girls Band Cry released. I don't remember exactly, but of course, like everybody, like those, all those anime are like really really popular. Like Girls Band Cry, I mean Girls Band anime, like people really want it. They really like it. Even with the whole success of Bochi, I think that Girls Band Cry on its own, even if it even if Bochi wouldn't have released, uh I think Girls Band Cry had the music, it had the characters, it had the writing. It still would have popped off on on its own. Like it's still, I just still think overall it's just a great anime by itself. It's one of my favorite anime. Uh, Even from the past decade, it's definitely up there as one of the top anime from the last like decade that I've seen. It's just, I just really liked it. It has a lot of love in it, and I just hope, I just really hope, you know, you give it a try. I highly recommend it. But for any who haven't seen it, right, of course. But for those who have seen it, uh, tell me down in the comments. Tell me like, what's your favorite song, your favorite ship, your favorite moment. What didn't you like? Anything you felt was missing? Like anything, just anything you want to say. Write a paragraph. I'll read it down in the comments. You know. Also, leave a like if you enjoyed. You know. Um, but yeah, that's it for the actual like review. Thanks for sticking around. You know. Um, if you made it this far, I just want to say thank you. And you're free to leave now. I'm going to speak a little bit of myself now, like I said at the beginning of the video. But for those who came for like the actual talking about Girls Band Cry, just thank you for being here. But okay, so I just wanted to talk a little bit about myself. Because of anime, I found a place to be. I don't really drink, I don't smoke, I don't go out to like parties or bars or stuff. I just, you know, I just feel very anxious, very, I just don't really like that environment. I really like gaming and anime, and I do like going traveling and doing other things. There's other things I also want to try, but overall, I guess I'm just a little more, I'm way more introverted, but also I just really like games and anime. That's just it. I just know they're a part of my life, and even for a long time I've accepted that it's just something I'm not gonna let go. It's not something I can let go. Like it's been part of my life for so long, and it's just something that I really enjoy. I really want to talk about. Uh some people might, that I know there's some people like I guess I don't know if I to call them normal people. I think every person is weird in their own way, but some people don't understand when I say like it's part of my everyday, you know? Like I check for game and anime news on like social media. I watch stuff about games and anime on YouTube. Like it's it's part of my life. Like I found friends through gaming and anime communities because those are the types of people I want to talk to. I want to be with, you know. I can talk to other people that have other hobbies and other stuff, but overall it's mostly like very, you know, like you just talk about that and then you just don't know what to talk about anymore because I'm just so anime and game mind. But yeah, I just feel like it's my thing, you know, it's my place. My place are my friends. We mostly nowadays just talk about games. It's not so much about anime anymore. Like here and there, there's one or two anime a year maybe they might watch that we might, but you know, I keep up with like seasonals and I just watch a lot, but they a long time ago they just don't watch as much. Sometimes, you know, people they just fall out of it. They just don't they might not have the time or they just don't like it as much anymore. But yeah, this that's part of the reason I wanted to do this to find people I can talk to about seasonal anime, about anime they follow, people that are new to anime, people that might want to know about older anime. Sometimes people they watch the seasonals, they watch the new stuff, but they might not want to go back. Maybe not that they don't want to go back, they don't know what to go back to because we used to have like the top tens, and I still remember in my mind, you know, like some of like you would watch 10 time, I mean the top 10 anime, and you know stuff like Your Lie in April and Anohana, you know, stuff like that. But yeah, like I said, I might talk about that in another video because I might want to bring that to other people so that they know about these anime. But I just wanted to post this and hope it could reach someone. It could reach people that like anime, that want to talk about it, that want to discuss about it, that just love it. And, you know, that might be you watching this. But yeah, man, that's, I guess that's it. That's all I had to say. Yeah. See you, man.